Team, we are back. We are back. All right, I just need a little bit of time to set up. I don't want to save this blankness. And I said I would listen to this song, and I do plan to do that. But I do want SBC Calm to come back before I do listen to it, so that I can give them the feedback. So I'm going to have this ready, and when they come back, I will play it. This is actually, I realized, the same guy that messaged last stream, but that was whilst I was DJing. It wasn't the time to do that. But yeah, we'll listen to this when he comes back into the chat. But whilst that's happening, I need to set up a little bit of the stream on the back end here. All right, come on. All right. Okay. All right. Come on. I would like to listen to this. Come on. Come back here, Calm. When you're in the chat, say hi. When you get back, let me know in chat, and I'll listen and give live feedback. So I'll put that in the chat so that when he comes, he can see it. Yeah, it's like I don't want to do it until he's here, because it's for his benefit more than anything. If my feedback is even valuable to him. Anyway, so all of these audios are actually from TikTok. These are reels, right? So, for example, this audio that I've taken is this sound. 1, 2, 3, All right, and then and then there's this.
Yo, Lil Mace.
Yo.
What do you do for a living?
Put a man, yeah, man, say man, gang man, what it is?
So that's that. And in fact, let's keep that video view open, because we can have it over here whilst we listen to the song. Let's get it rolling. Oh, let's unsolo that. And so this is the song. We'll listen to it in its entirety, and then we'll get started with the mix down.
1, 2, 3, Put a man, yeah, man, say man, gang man, say man, gang man, say man, gang man. Put a man, yeah, man, say man, gang man, say man, gang man, what it is? Put a man, yeah, man, say man, gang man, say man, gang man, say man, gang man. Put a man, yeah, man, say man, gang man, say man, gang man, what it is?
Now, something worth noting here is that this one synth that seems just straightforward is everything. And that's because of all of these extra plugins that we've got doing a whole lot of weird stuff. And you can see the weird stuff in the in the automation here. And that's why it's so unique each time, despite it being the same waveform. And yeah, it's all the automation. What up, Moon? How's it going? You call me Booty for, like I'm mooning you, but you're actually mooning me. Anyway. Cool, what you eating? Is it barbecue again? What are you eating, bro? That's fucking sick. I'm jealous. I've not eaten breakfast yet, but it is not 8 a.m. It's not even 8 a.m. yet. I'm just doing mixdown and mastering until my wife wakes up. You know the drill. But I'm hoping that she has a little bit of a lay-in because she's been quite tired recently. It's her day off today, so she should be able to get a lay-in. So that's the song. Okay, so it's Rutti and something. I don't know what it's called in English. Do you speak Hindi? Punjabi? What is your language? What is your most comfortable native tongue? I'm sure clearly you're very good with English. English might even be your native tongue, but you don't know what it's called in English. What do you know? What's it called in something that you do know what it's called in? Not that I'll be able to translate or anything. All right. So we've got the original audio. I'm going to put that way at the top here before everything, because why else would we need it? This general melody. I don't know if we need this or what the point of this is. Let's have a listen. What the fuck was that? Let's just remove that from sight, and hopefully we never need to see that ever again. This pre-verb bass is literally the same as the bass, but with a bunch of reverb and stuff on it. That is to say, it's giving it a build-up sort of vibe, and I'm sure we can see some sort of... There's literally nothing on here. That's all that is doing. Without the reverb, without the EQ, it's literally just the drop. But we add all of this to give it that vibe. Really simple. Yeah, Hindi, cool. Ah, Beniski Falili. Yeah, I have no idea what that is. Beniski Fali. That's my Indian accent. Do you like it? Hello, I am Moon. I am eating Beniski Fali. That's how, in my mind's eye. That's what I envision you. That's how I envision you. And origin-wise, my parents from like India, so I feel like that's okay for me. No, I'm Indian. Are you Middle East? No, I'm South Asian, baby. I think, yeah. Well, Indian, yeah. Yeah. All right. That's a simple EQ. Oh, we've got perfect vocals on that motherfucker. All right, sure. And simple side chaining onto the bass. That's good. That's really good. I've got a decent mix down here. We don't have full ducking here, which is quite interesting. I'm going to experiment with full ducking and listen to see which one sounds better. So this is full ducking, that is to say, every time the kick and the snare hits, this goes completely silent. So full ducking, you can hear where the kick and snare is going to be because it's like that. Fuck off, I don't sound like typical Indian, I guess. I don't sound like typical Indian, I guess. Hey, welcome back, PG. I'm doing Indian accents. Do you want to do some Indian accents with me? Don't. Unless you're Indian, you cannot. It's against the rules. But because I am a fantastic teacher, I'm going to teach you how to do a brilliant Indian accent. PG, what ethnicity are you? Anglo. Gotcha. So you, morally speaking, shouldn't be able to do an Indian accent. But if you were to, here's the problem that I find a lot of people when they do Indian... Sorry, Moon. Here's the problem that I find a lot of Indian people doing Indian accents do. They talk like this, and they think this is an Indian accent. The problem is the tongue, right? If this is the roof of your mouth and this is the tip of your tongue, you don't want the tip of your tongue hitting here at the front of your mouth where your teeth are. You want to bring it, it's here, bring it back, as far back as you can go, and keep that tongue there, and then just do the Indian accent. And Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt, you got yourself an Indian accent. Yeah, don't do it. You're Anglo. It's immoral if you do it. But if you needed to, if you were in a pinch and someone had a gun to your head and was like, hey, do an Indian accent, otherwise I'll shoot you, you know exactly how to do it now. That's fucking South Indian accent. Okay? it's an Indian accent still, no? Yeah, but yeah, I take you're North Indian then. All right, let's get into this. Okay, so let me compare with full ducking or not so much ducking, or as Moon might say. Was it the last one? Or as Moon might say, ducking or not so much ducking. All right, so do I have I don't have a Discord server. I'm sorry, Moon. I'm done. It's over. No, I don't have a Discord. I barely even use Discord, to be honest. I barely even use Discord. So this is full ducking, but with the whole mix, and I'm just going to compare it to light ducking with the whole mix. And there is ducking on the vocals, but just not underneath the drums. There is drums here. There is a snare there, so maybe we need some sort of ducking underneath the drums as well there. On the vocals. Anyway, let's have a listen to the drop, which is, yeah, it's here. Okay, and with lighter ducking. It's very similar. If it's similar, might as well just go with the full duck. The reason being is it's just going to clean up the mix later on anyway. We'll be able to push the kick and snare further because there's fewer frequencies contradicting it at the time. This guy don't know how to use Discord too old. You say that, but genuinely you're right. You joke. But you're absolutely right. That's why I've got Discord. I use it very sparingly, and the majority of the time that I use it, I'm just speaking in the general chat saying, guys, how do I do this? And then it's just people saying I'm old. Look, I'm not old. It's just I don't use Discord that much. I don't use sitting there chatting with people for hours in any capacity that much. except for apparently streaming. But yeah, that's what bro thinks I'm 40. All right, I'm gonna test the ducking of the vocals with a kick and snare. It's right now it's too much. It's infinite ratio. Hang on, let me put it here so you can see it. Right now it's too much. It's infinite ratio and infinite threshold, which means every time the drums hit, there is just complete silence. Discord for producers means sending links back and forth. Ah, gotcha. Not sitting in general chat like teams. Gotcha. Yeah, I don't want to be dealing with that. That sucks for me. That's unfortunate. Yeah, no, I don't want to deal with that. But I mean, it is absolutely beneficial to get feedback on chat on tracks. Unfortunately, I don't really do it very often. It's just I produce so many tracks so often that it's just not really. It's not really worth it, you know. What up, Cryo? Welcome to the stream. You want to know what's poppin'? Oh, thanks for the follow. Unworthy of the follow. I don't know why you just followed me. I didn't even do anything. You're just kicking me in the head. Oh, stop kicking me, Cryo. Stop kicking me. God damn. Fuck. Get out of here. Cryo. God damn it. God, leave me alone. Jeez, why are you bullying me? Madness. Make sure you saw his messages. What messages? He said, what's poppin'? Hi. His Ableton project. All right, anyway, so yeah, I'm going to choose give me a link. I will take a big brown dump in general chat. What the fuck, Moon? What are you talking about? All right, okay, all right, look. So this is too much ducking underneath the kick and snare. We can tell because every time the kick and snare supposedly happens, we can't hear it because I'm soloing just the vocals. It's going to be completely silent. You can hear this very clearly. And we're going to adjust this by bringing this up. We're going to keep the ratio at infinite, but we're going to bring this up so the threshold comes up. That means that at a different level of volume is how it's going to be taken down. So instead of complete silence when the kick and snare happens, it's going to be maybe just a little bit quieter or very slightly quieter. So we're going to bring it up until it sounds right in the mix. So we're going to be playing the vocals and the kick and the snare and the entire mix all together and bring it up. So it works really comfortably there, but I want to check it over here. The reason I want to check it over here is because this is the only area, and it happened again prior as well, where it's very, very quiet throughout the mix, but there is a kick and a snare going during the vocals. So this is where it becomes very, very clear and obvious to the listener that there is ducking. And so that's what I want to be working with. There is no link. Gotcha. Yeah, Moon, we were literally just discussing about how I don't have a Discord server. You literally said I'm too old for a Discord server. Okay, I was wrong, but we can check all of these. Yes, right there, it's ducking, and I think that's an okay amount, to be honest. It is quite sharp, but we can always turn it off. Yeah, it almost makes the kick feel more louder than it actually is. What I do want to do, because I could be wrong here, but I feel like it's not as mono as I need it to be. And I could be genuinely wrong. Like I said, my headphones are fucked. Yeah, no, my headphones are just fucked. That's unfortunate. I'm gonna keep it on mono just anyway, just because why not? And I'm just going to have a listen to this, make sure this is what I want it to be. That is fucking awesome. That is such a heavy fucking beast. Alright, cool. I don't know how the fuck I'm going to make everything fit around that, because that is heavy as fuck. But that's the challenge that we like to see, because it's only going to make us better at mix downs and producing. I took the dump somewhere else. Good, Moon. I hope it was in the toilet. I'm not going to say anything further. I had an idea, but I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it. Me? Nah, fam. I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it. So I've turned off all of the everything. So right now, if we play it, we hear nothing. There is nothing playing. You will see it. Moon, did you DM me a picture of your shit? Hang on, let me just go here so that people can see what you said in chat. I wasn't going to say farm fields, but it could be anywhere. Could be anywhere. You know? Right now, look, it's all this yellow stuff. You can't really see the chat, but you go here, nice and clear, nice and clear. You're welcome. Where is this man? This guy? Calm needs to come back, and then I can play his track. All right. So yeah, nothing is playing right now. I'm going to get the pink noise up in here. I do want to check out TDR Nova. I think that's what it's called, TDR Nova. And the reason I want to check out TDR Nova is because it's a parallel dynamic equalizer, which is awesome. But on top of that, I'm hoping that it can do some stuff that my standard EQ can't, and that is just have a fucking line there for me to go against. Because right now I'm doing it with pink noise, and I'd much rather not have to listen to pink noise, and also much rather not force my listeners to listen to pink noise, because it's just not a nice thing to be listening to, in all honesty. Anyway, I'm going to drag this pink noise in. And I might as well update my phone right now. Why not? Who's going to stop me? Okay. So we're going to start with the kick, and I just work my way down the channels. That's generally what I do. So we're going to start with the kick, and I'm going to turn on the kick. Now, right away, we've got the ratio of the low and the distortion already at an okay ratio. Yeah, I'm happy with this ratio. So we're going to stick with this ratio. We're going to loop this, and we're going to have a listen to just these kicks on its own. And apparently the pink noise. I'm so sorry for deafening you. It deafened me as well. If it makes you feel any better, I can't imagine it did. I cannot imagine that made you feel better in any way. I'm going to leave that at 0, to be honest, and bring this really far down. So I can hear the kick piercing through the mix. And I know that, and I'm hoping that you can hear it too. I turned your volume up just a bit there. So, I'm surprised we don't have... We've got a saturator on the crunchy bit, which actually makes sense. Okay, so we've got the low, we've got the high, we've got the crunchy bit, and we've got a glue compressor over the whole thing with soft clipping. So, this is the sound of that kick. I'm going to stop it for a bit because we want EQ8 on this motherfucker. And whilst EQ8 is EQ18, we're going to open this up. And because during the drop we've just got one synth and a sub bass, we don't need to do that much EQing and clearing out space for everything. It's all okay. Even the vocals, when it's going with the drop, it pierces through the mix cleanly. Even with the pink noise, we can hear it relatively cleanly. So we don't need to do too much there in terms of fucking around with the mix down or EQing. All right, so we've got EQ. We're going to just adjust this so that it's slightly peeking out of the pink noise. We can see the kick here. Every time the kick's happening, you're getting a big bit of information here and all along everywhere else. So we're just going to bring this down. A little more. Little more. Little more. Little more. Little more. About there is good. And we're just going to try to remember the amount that we're allowing it to peek through in the mix, because with that information, we're going to do the same thing with the snare, which I'm hoping we've got a saturator on, which we do. Cool, and we've got a limiter on the end, which is kind of cool. This is weird. I've never used that before. Bro. Fucking radio again. Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. Hey, thanks for tuning in to the radio and other funny jokes. All right, I'm going to turn the snare all the way up, and then we're going to work our way down. So you can hear the snare very clearly. You can see it's peaking around here, 200 hertz, which is typical for a snare anyway. So we'll bring it down. 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 So the kick is still peaking out very slightly. The snare is peaking out very slightly, and that's exactly what we need. Now, I am aware that once we get to the bass, it's going to be a bit of a peculiar situation. The reason it's a peculiar situation is because even though it's just one waveform that seemingly doesn't change much, it absolutely changes a fuck ton. So, for example, over here, when we've got just a simple thing, we've got so many plugins doing variations that the synth itself becomes very different. Would be cool if I turned on Duck so that we can hear it. Because this is just this. That's just the sound of just this. And I'm hoping they are all at the same perceived level. That is to say, the same perceived volume. Sorry. Because if it is all the same perceived volume, that's going to allow us to do mixdowns a lot easier. But I highly doubt it's going to be all the same perceived volume. I'm going to bring this EQ8 before the compressor, and that actually we'll do it after this compressor, just in case this compressor adds some sort of coloration, then we can remove it. And then we're going to do the trigger ducking. But the snare is where we want it to be, and now we're just going to listen to the hi-hats. This is what the hi-hats sound like on their own. Arguably way too quiet. But we can always pump up the outs or the gain here. And the reason it's so quiet is because we've got it ducking underneath the kick and the snare, which is pretty much all of the transients on this, except for just this one, which is already arguably the quieter one, because you can see it's a smaller waveform. Anyway, we're going to bring that all the way up and then bring it down to a reasonable level. So we can see slight peaks coming out for it. Big peak there. And then like lots of little thin peaks until we're going to drag it down until those thin peaks are slightly poking out, but not much. About there might be okay. So we're going to just test it out by silencing the pink noise and listening to the whole drum beat. And it is very clear that these hi-hats are way too loud. So we could just dial it down. About there might be okay. It's very quiet, I know. What would be cool is having some sort of width to this. There's actually already width to this. Okay, that's fine. And that's very mono. Without this, It's weak as.
Gang now, split my man, say man, 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 gang now.
don't know what I would do without you, Moon. I mean, actually, I know exactly what I'd be doing. I'd just be talking to myself in a room, like how I used to do at the beginning of my 500 hours of streaming in 2025. Right? Because no one was there to watch me. Yeah, I appreciate you, Moon. Thank you. Pro streamer, I know. These mics, trash. Absolute trash. You know what's crazy? I got a microphone here. I could use that. I got a microphone here. I could use that. I got a microphone here. I could use that. I got a microphone on the camera I could use. There were so many different microphones I could be using. But I use this. And it's not even a good microphone. Streamer of the year. Thanks, bro. Thanks, man. I know, I do put in a lot of effort and stuff into the stream, so I appreciate you saying that. I do. I know you're joking, it's a joke, relax. Did you like that little transition? That's the first time I'm trying it out. I've never done that before. It only took me 223 hours to decide to... You don't like that? What if I just get all up in your business? Is that too much? Hey, hang on. Hang on. I'm just saying, what if I did this? Is that too much? I use this camera sometimes when I'm DJing because you get a cool angle. You go like that right there, and you get like it's almost like an upwards angle, you know, versus this angle, which is almost downwards. But this camera's not a very good camera. This camera's a little better. EDR, turn the camera off. Now what? Alright, let's get back to this. You're distracting me. Alright, we're going to start with the initial. We're not actually going to start with the initial. We're going to finish with the initial. The reason we're going to finish with the initial is because at this, bottle tapping plays on its own over here, right? And we know it plays on its own because it goes like this. 2, 3, and then it goes into the actual funness of the song, right? And so I'm going to have this balance to where we want it. This is better than the other one. All right, I'll keep that in mind. We're going to have this balance to where we want it. And then once this is balanced, then we can choose what volume we want this in relation to the rest of the song. Because we can't have this too quiet. We can't have it too loud either. We can have it too quiet. Who gives a shit? But we definitely don't want it too loud. All right, so I'm going to get started with this. It's going to be a bit loud and a bit noisy. Pink-wise, sorry, a bit noisy. Pink-wise. Let's get into it. So we can see the peaks around here mainly. They move around. Maybe we're looking over here a lot. Yeah, we're probably going to be looking around here near the end. So we're just going to bring this down to where we need it to be. Bring it down. What up, Zoro? Welcome to the stream. Hey, I'm here. Good work on being here, big dog. So we're getting little bits of peaks here. We can see something piercing through right here, and that's F, the note F. That's me. Moon, Zoro is you. I'm going to bring this down a little bit more. Okay, I don't think that is that. I think that's one of the drums that's making that frequency. So let's see if that frequency is still here, even if I take away the bottle tapping. yeah, you can see there is still that frequency there. So we need to kind of find out what's doing that. It's not that. It is literally the drums, and specifically, it's that, which is very low frequency. But oh well, who's going to stop me? All right, let's carry on with this. So we're going to bring this bottle tapping back up and then try to identify the frequencies again. Yeah, you got a problem. All right, Zoro. Thanks, Zoro. So it doesn't even go up to here. We're looking at from here to here, yeah? And we drag it down. Bring it down. Bring it down. Turn it off. See, that frequency is still from that hi-hat. So we're going to just focus on this area here then. So we can see the movement and keep our eyes on that movement. Just slightly peeking out, and I think that's A-okay. If we need to, we can always clean it up with some EQs. I know that on the end here, we've got an EQ peeking up around this area, and that's just to give it a little brightness. Little bit of brightness. But if we wanted to, we can choose specific frequencies that we want to pierce through the mix and take those out of other areas, such as the vocals or the bass here. Speaking of which, that's what we're moving on to, but I'm going to turn off that, and we're going to compare this volume to this volume and make sure that it's suitable.
2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1.
Ooh, we can actually bring that down to -12 just for sake, just for fun.
2, 3, 1.
There we go. That's beautiful. And now we're going to move on to this dirty bass line. And we're just going to reduce the volume as such. We know what the frequencies are. It's that, very dirty. And we've got a lot of low information here, so that's something that I want to be fixing right about now. This is awesome, by the way. But at the end of the Robifier, we've got a big beef, okay? And an EQ8, which is turned off. And then we've got a serum, which is adding convolve and distortion. So yeah, that is why we are having this issue. So I'm just going to turn that on, and that's going to save us. Without. Adds a little extra high end, sure. This is going to allow the hi-hats to pierce through the mix a lot more cleanly as well, to be fair. And I've made it outside of the Robifier Vox, which is really good. Both of them. The reason that's really good is because it means that when this is deactivated, this is still activating. And just so that you can see it, we've got the high end cut off, and that's why it's making that sound. But after that, we've got a limiter. So nothing's going to be piercing or going past any frequency, any volumes that we don't want it to be. So we're just going to bring the volume down, and everybody's going to be happy. That was so fucking loud. So we can see mainly we're getting frequencies over here. So that's what we're going to be looking at as we dial it down. So I'm hearing over here. Over here. Hang on. Right there is where we're getting the loudest part. And by loudest, I mean the highest frequency area, so that's what we're going to be dialing down. So let's have a listen to it in context and bring it down. This is it completely off. Sorry. This is it completely off, and we're going to dial it up. Okay, that's where we're looking for, those peaks. with it off, with it on. Dial it up a bit. Up again. Yeah, there's a major peak there. That can be fixed by Vastaus, and we can always dial it down again later on. The preverb bass will probably want to be around the same sort of level, but I absolutely could be wrong, and because of that, we're going to have a listen and dial it up and down, respectively. So this is it on. What's the white noise? It's pink noise, and it's helping me get a perfect sort of level of ratio. We're going to do it on 2 large channels, and then we're going to listen to it all together, and you'll be able to hear why I use pink noise. See, pink noise has the perfect sort of levels at each different octave. That is really nice for ears. A lot of dubstep nowadays, I think they do it to fucking white noise because they really fucking push that high end. But generally speaking, pink noise has that perfect thing. Never heard about pink noise? Oh yeah, it is a beautiful, beautiful secret. If you can get an EQ that has, instead of a straight line in the middle, but a line, a pink noise line going down, that's ideal. I don't have that. And so we're just going to be listening to pink noise whilst we do it. Thankfully, we've only got 2 more channels to go, and then we'll have a listen to it in total, and you'll be able to hear just how good it sounds. But after that point, during that point, that's when we do additional leveling, because it's not always going to be perfect. Maybe the high end might be too loud, maybe it might be too quiet, maybe certain frequencies are piercing through the mix, and as a result, I've had to level it. So at the end of the day, it's all about ears, but this is a really, really good foundation for getting a really good sounding mix. So let's listen to the preverb bass. This is what I'm going to be working with right now. Very, very quiet, but this is what we're working with. This bad boy, yeah? And we're just going to dial that down in relation with the pink noise. So we can see the peaks peaking out over here. We're going to bring that down until it's pretty much in line with pink noise. It's called about there, minus 11.1. Have not updated my playlist in like 5 years, so I know no new EDM stuff, lol. Gotcha, yeah, no, current bro step at the very least is, yeah, it's pretty white noisy. It's very high, very heavy on the high end, for sure. And I love that, to be honest. Maybe I start doing that, but I've not, and to be honest, I quite like how my mixes sound with the pink noise. And this is sub. I'm sure you know what sub sounds like and what it looks like. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And we're just going to dial that down and get it, once again, pink noise relation. And then once we're done with that, I'll let you listen to the whole song and you'll get a nice idea. So you can see the sub piercing through the entire mix here. And we'll dial that down until it is. With the sub, I don't want it piercing through the mix. I don't want it slightly above the pink noise. I want it perfectly in line with the pink noise. The reason is, when we're in the mastering process and I'm trying to push the sound as much as I can, the sub's the first thing to get distorted because it's going to be the loudest. I don't want it to be the loudest. I want to be able to push the sub without distortion and allow for everything to come through nice and cleanly. So I'm not going to push it too much. I like Rez though. Yeah. She has a cool set on YouTube. Rez is awesome. I really like Rez, and my wife really likes Rez as well. And her sound is super, super clean, very creative, super, super clean. Yeah, I really like Rez. It's a good shout. So we can see that sub gently wiggling around. I think about there is fine. So without the sub, we're looking at this area. You can barely see it. With the sub. Yeah, all right, cool. I'm happy with that. I think it's this high note that would be distorted the most because it's the same volume, but it should be quieter. It is what it is. It is what it is. All right, so now we get the beautiful, beautiful chance to listen to the whole thing in context and hope that nothing is too far out, but if it is, we can always adjust it. So I'm going to turn your volume up so that you can hear it a little easier because it will be quite quiet.
1, 2, 3,
See, in my opinion, I'd say these vocals are much too quiet, so I'm going to dial that up. And these hi-hats are too loud, so what we need is a compressor on them, which we do already have. Okay, so that's fine. That's fine, we just need to make them quieter. And let me sort out those vocals again. Actually, let's keep it moving. Thanks, bro. Do you want to see the original video where they both come from? So this is literally just TikTok or Instagram Reels videos. So yeah, we got this.
1, 2, 3,
Right. And then we got Little Mates. We got this one.
Yo, Lil Mace.
Yo.
What do you do for a living?
Put a man, say man, gang man, what it is?
Notice his feet at the beginning of the video. Yeah. That's what the video. That's what the audios came from. Anyway. Now, there are clashing frequencies, and we can make it stand out a little more cleanly. So that's exactly what we're going to do. You can't see this EQ, so I'm going to delete that. Giga Chad. Yeah, that guy's a fucking beast, man. That guy's awesome. All right, let's have a listen to just this on its own. And we're looking for certain frequencies that are piercing through the mix. And I'm going to do just one using this too. And I'm going to find it, locate it, and then remember the number of it, essentially. So let's go with over here, right? So we're looking at around here-ish. Yeah, literally around there. So you're looking at around 300 hertz. We know what the frequency is because right there it's 300 hertz. So we're going to keep that in mind and delete that now. And we're going to go over to the bottle tapping. We're going to make the bottle tapping duck at that frequency. But before we do that, I need to make sure it's all clean. There's not going to be anything. We do have a compressor, a very hefty compressor. My fucking God, that's a big compression. But whatever, that's fine. So we're going to turn on a peak, and at 300 hertz, we're going to do a very gentle decrease. And what that's going to do is when the vocals, well, it's happening all the time, but the vocals are going to pierce through the mix a lot cleanly, and the bottle tapping is going to be a little quieter in relation. And I'm going to do that same thought process on the bass here. So I'm going to open up this EQ, and we're going to go to 300 hertz and give those vocals a little bit of space, just a smidgen bit of space. And I'm happy with that Q factor. I'm happy with all of that. I'm more into house music from like 2010 to 2020. Saw Avicii in Swedish live ages ago. Cool. Yeah, I mean, I was into like, during that period, I was into like progressive house because I got into dubstep, and then it sort of Ministry of Sound just sort of evolved, and I followed that trend for sure. My music taste is built on COD4 montage jams. You like Glitch Hop then? You like Glitch Hop? Because that's a glitch hoppy shit right there. monster cat shit. So we've got the vocals nice and clean. Now we're going to do the same thing with the bottle tapping. So we're going to have a watch and have a listen to these frequencies. So it ranges quite a lot around here, unfortunately, which makes it a little more difficult to work with. So this is the region where we really want to be peaking out frequencies. Yeah, so we're looking at around here. So you're looking at around 1.3K, and we're going to make that a relatively fat peak. So let's open up another one over here. We're going to go for 1.3K-ish, and we're going to lower that Q value so that we get a little bit of a wider ducking. And that's going to allow the bottle tapping to pierce through the mix a little bit throughout the bass. And we're going to do the same thing with Little Mace. So we're going to come over here, we're going to turn on one of these peaks, we're going to go over to 1.3K and duck it just a smidgen and decrease that Q value because I think that's a bit too harsh. We'll have it around there. Mount Eden, yes. I don't know who Ronald Jenkins is though. I do know VXX. That's quite, soft dubstep, yeah. Mount Eden's fucking beautiful. Mount Eden's so beautiful. So the problem is we can't find specific frequencies with this bass because it's quite all over the place. Hence the automation. So, not the most helpful, but whatever. Anyways, right, we can probably pump that bass a little louder now, but let's oh, Ronald Jenkins is the autistic piano guy, wholesome fellow. No fucking clue. No fucking clue. I feel like there's a lot of autistic piano guys. Yeah, I don't know. But now that we've done that, we can probably decrease volumes because things are piercing through the mix very clearly. All right, cool. And now the problem is over here, the hi-hats are too loud. Let's have a listen. It's a gold jam. Thanks, bro. Good, cool. Thank you, bro. Yeah, some of these are just so much louder than the rest. Let's decrease this a bit. Increase the attack. There it is. Nice. So you can see this should look like that pink noise. That is to say, this is what pink noise looks like. just going to be pink noise on its own. It's going to be very loud, I'm sorry. Okay? Turn your volume down now. Okay, so that's what pink noise looks like. It's quite big over here and it goes down like that, yeah? And then our mix does that in theory, the same way, right? And that's pleasant for the ears. We could get more information over here. Oh, there we go, the vocals covers that information. There we go. That's beautiful, that's beautiful. And now we can get started with the mastering process. Let's close that, because we don't need any of that. What we are going to do now is we're going to go onto the mastering channel and we're going to open up AAC, round trip. Sorry, AU round trip AAC, whatever. What this does is tell us very clearly the loudest part of the song. So we're going to have a listen and we're going to try to find the loudest part of the song. With this information, we're going to loop just that area and do the mastering process on that area. So we're looking for the sample loudest area, not the encoded and not the intersamples, but the sample source loudest area. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, So far that's the loudest part. And now that's the loudest part. Okay, that's the loudest part now. Cool, so it looks like this is the loudest part of the song, so we're just going to loop that one little area. And we're going to close this and we're going to get up my lovely, lovely, lovely mastering chain that I like to use. And so let's collapse this, this, and this, and bring an EQ onto the other side so that we can see it if we wanted to. And with this one little super loud part looping, we are going to adjust the limiter here. So this is a limiter in infinite ratio, and we're just choosing where we want to limit it to. We're looking for around 0.3 decibels of gain reduction. Let's go. So we can see we've got 0.1216 sort of amount, which is not enough, so we're going to bring it down a little more. Little more, little more, little more, little more, little more, little more, little more. Until we get that 0.3. That sweet, sweet 0.3. There we go. 0.26, super, super close. We could round that up, but I'm just going to bring it down a little more. Yeah, we're getting 0.32, arguably too much, so let's dial it back up again. Yeah, go on, 0.27. I'd much rather err on the side of not too much. So without, with, not a huge difference. Now we're going to cut out the extreme lows, cut out the extreme highs, and give a slight boost to the upper end. Without, with. Not a huge difference, but it does brighten it up a little bit. Now we're going to use fur comp. We're going to try to get a gain reduction that goes up to this line right here. Let me bring this down so it's more easy to see in the field, and then we're going to adjust only the threshold because I'm happy with the attack time, the release time, and everything else. Okay, we could do more compression. Oh, too much. Dial it down a smidgen. Right there we go. It looks like it's the first snare that's really peeking through everything, but that's all good. So this is without the compression. And with. Slightly more quiet. And now we've got VAS styles, which should help with everything. So this is it all the way up, and then we'll dial it down and find where we want it to be. Let's remove this. And we dial it down. This is too much. Let's get it on 0. Yeah, just about there is good. So without. With. Dial it down just a smidgen more, but that's good. Now let's get Hornet for 31 Mark II. This is it all the way up. And this is it all the way off. Welcome back, Moon. Nighttime already? So we're going to turn it all the way up and then dial it down. So when it's all the way up, it does give a lot of movement, which does feel nice in the song, but the problem is that it adds too much movement, and it's almost like resonant peaks randomly cropping up, and harsh frequencies, and almost sounds like a phaser or flanger with just peaks like that. So we're going to dial it down so it's not too rough, but still has a nice movement throughout the mix. So this is all the way up. And this is off. Very flat when it's off. So we're going to find a nice middle point. I think that's good. Without? With. And now for the absolute big beef of it all, we're going to do K-Clip 0. I'm going to turn it down for you quite drastically because it is about to get very, very loud for you, quite drastically. And for this, I've got hard clipping on, so nothing softening, and I'm just going to up the in until we reach the very tips, till it starts, just before it starts clipping, or whilst it starts clipping some parts. It's 1:23 p.m. You want it to be nighttime so you can touch my nipples. That's fucking gay, mate. Gotcha. Moon. I said it's nighttime already because your name is Moon, and you said I'm back, like you came back, and so it'd be nighttime because Moon is here now, right? The fuck? I am even talking to high on 1 sig. The fuck? I am even talking to high on 1 sig. I have no idea what you're trying to say. Yeah. Alright, let me up the input here. We can see we're getting, this is repeating from here, and here is repeating, and here, but you can see they're all different peaks. So already we're at a point where it's a bit difficult to keep it perfect. Too high. On 1 cigarette or a joint? You smoking weed or a cigarette? Let's up it. Oh, that's a bit close. Yeah, let's leave it. Let's dial it down just a smidgen, because we are getting little bits of clipping there. It's almost random. Look at that. This one, no clipping. This one, a bit of clipping. Very close, pretty much clipping. We'll dial it down a smidgen again. About there might be good. It's the second one that's normally the loudest. We'll play. Yeah, dial it down a bit more. First one's fine. Second one clips. Yep, dial it down a bit more. That's good, I think. Yeah, look, we're still clipping, but very, very, very slightly. And we're onto the limiter section, so we can always just deal with that anyway. No, it's illegal. Gotcha. Okay. I'll dial this down until we get minus 0.3 decibels of gain reduction. So that's 0.5, so that's way too high. 0.31 is fine. And I think we leave it there. 0.32, 0.34, that's about it. Alright, that's fine. Yeah, that's pretty much exactly where we want it to be. And this is, don't forget, this is the loudest part of the mix. So everywhere else we're going to be getting much less gain reduction. This is more. Damn. Alright, we're gonna have to readjust here. Dial that up a bit. Terrible. Yeah, I mean, it would make sense that this should be the loudest part, because this has got the most layers. And you know what would be cool? If I take this bottle tapping and I just put it slightly to the left. And that allows it to pierce through the mix much nicely, very nicely as well. But it's okay. What if we'll just try this out? Hey. Oh. Did I have this idea already? I did. Okay. Without? With. Yeah, let's leave that on. Alright, cool. Good work, past Limlam. Alright, we're going to chuck on Unity. Let's get some motherfucking mono up in here. Even though I just made it stereo with that. Drag this before all of these plugins, put it on mono. We don't really need it before everything, we just need it before the master plan, but that's fine. And we are going to fuck with the low, then the high, then the thick, clean, multi-smooth, calm, tape, then loud, then wide. Then we're going to turn Unity off. Alright, we should be looping at the loudest part, which we are. Cool. And hang on, this isn't center for me, so I'm just going to change my own settings to make this center. It's slightly out, but that's fine. All right, we're gonna boost the low and bring it down to where we want it to be. That is fucking brutal. Hang the fuck on. Okay, that's fine. That's also fine. That is big, but that's fine. Okay. And we'll dial this down. Cool. And we'll dial this down. I always like to have a little more high ends because it's less likely to get distorted at high ends. Really nice. Let's set the thickening, which increase or decrease additional saturation. I can mainly hear this around the kick in the low end area, and the bass. It's the interaction between the kick and the bass in the low end. Very nice. Let's do clean. This is like this area, it feels like. Smooth. With smooth, it makes me feel like the snare is not powerful enough. Without, with, let's try calm. Cool, and let's do tape saturation. This is tight bass, warm bass. And now we'll fuck with the loudness, bring it up as much as we can, and then we dial it down. I think that's the absolute limit we can do. I'm going to turn off mono and now we're going to fuck with the width. We're going to start with 1 so we get comfortable. We're going to move it all the way to 2 times, and then we're going to dial it down to where we want it to be. That's good. That's fine. We need this to be bass mono. We've got the width being automated here, weirdly enough. But we need bass mono. Yeah, we need that bass mono. All right, that's fine. I need to check over here, make sure it's still okay. And I would like to test out bringing that snare up a bit. We're going to increase the high end on that snare. Yeah, that was needed. Alright, and now, to really make it beefy as fuck, we're going to turn off Unity. So that means that this will actually have 6.32 decibels of loudness added without the makeup reduction after. So in theory, we should be done with the whole mix down, with the whole process. So let's open this up and have a nice listen to this nice, pretty song that we've made together after I collect all and save. All right. 1, 2, 3, Yeah, alright, cool. I say we done. Maybe we finish with some drums at the end here, or duplicate that. Fucking... and that shit. Oh shit, not that, but that shit, there we go. Yeah, that's not right. We want that. That shit, there we go. No, cool. Let's leave that crunchy in there. I don't want people to know that it's two separate kicks mixed together. I want them to know think it's just a one beefy, crunchy, crazy kick. What? No, I don't give a shit. All right. Okay, I think we're done here. I'm happy to say we're done here. Now, before I go, well, let's drag the Say Me Again now into the finished pile, to the finished unreleased pile. Ni hao, what I, ni hao, what I, ni sure, what I, beep out, Okay, before I go, I'm gonna leave this open because this guy should be coming back at some point. It's ridiculous. All right, let's see what percentage of the year we're on. So it's the 28th of August. That's a lot of scrolling. 65%. Okay, that's not that bad, actually. That's really not that bad. I thought we were worse. It's 65.5%. No, round down, 65%, yeah? There's 125 days remaining. This is an awesome website. Fuck me. All right, so 125 days, and we need, well, let's just make a note there. And we've got 224 hours. So let's do 500, take away 224. Oh, it's there. 276. Nice. So 276 hours we need to do in 125 days. So divided by 125 days. So that's 2.5. But no, it's not even 2.5. It's slightly over 2 hours. It's 2.2. It's like 2 hours and 16 minutes, I think. That's not bad. That's not bad per day. That's what we need to do. That's doable. It's a bit tight, but it's doable. Okay, look, we took a step back. You know, we slowed down a little bit. But, I mean, just yesterday I streamed for 1 hour and 46 minutes, and then again for 42 minutes, and then again for 1 hour. So that's a decent amount of time. 1 hour, 46, call it 45, all of them. So that's 1:45, 2:30, 3:30, 3.5 hours of streaming. Not bad. The day before I did 1 hour and 18 minutes, call it 1 hour 20, and then another 40, so that's 2 hours, and then another 1 hour and 10 minutes, so that's 3 10 minutes, and then half an hour at the end, so 3 hours and 40 minutes. Okay. And then the day before that, I didn't stream. The day before that, I didn't stream. The day before that, I didn't stream. Okay, so it's doable, but it's not easy. It's doable, but not easy. That's fine. That's fine. Team, we can do this. We can do this. This is 100% possible. I thought it was over and we'll just, you know, this is possible. Oh shit. Okay. 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 Yeah, if I keep at this schedule, days from today, Thursday, 13th. I did this fucking ages ago. All right, but no, this is good. Oh wait, if I refresh, August 28th, there we go, days from to Thursday 28th, and then I can see it's 125 here. Okay, so obviously, I mean, I probably won't be streaming on Christmas. I don't stream on Sundays. There's you know, little hurdles, but I don't think it matters. I won't be streaming too much today because I'm busy, and like I said, it's my wife's day off, so I want to be spending time with her. But she's still asleep, so maybe we carry on with the mix down then. All right, let's see what's next to be mixed. Marty's song project. This song, by the way, sucks. Sorry, let me show you. This song sucks. But let's God, this is just so bad. There's nothing even in the trigger. Oh man, I hate this so much. Alright, anyway, let's have a listen. God, fucking 11 tracks. From the get-go.
About to do, please don't do it.
Bayonne Bonnie Banks and Bayonne Bonnie Braes, where the sun shines straight into my asshole. But Marty is a poor and our friendship was a chore on the wet and sticky banks of Loch Lomond. And you'll take the high road and I'll take the low road and I'll be in Scotland of all years. The 5 years and on the bonny banks of Loch Lomond.
Okay, let's do a really, really, really quick mix down here. Let's do it without pink noise and just practice. So, this will be our bass line, this kick right here, which, by the way, isn't even mono. So now that we've made it mono, I feel a lot more comfortable. Let's drag this in and soften out that high end. Because I'm doing this for the kick only, mainly, I think. And this is for the snare. It's hi-hat. Awesome sound effect. Yep, and this is going to be the snare. Okay, let's turn that off. We're going to put this down here. We're going to call this what it is, and that's percussion. There's bongos in it. We'll call this what it is, and that's we'll call that the snare, and this is effects. I don't know what the fuck that is, and that should go inside duck, to be honest. Okay, we'll do snare next, and there is kicks here, but we don't want that. Cool. So let's lower that a bit. And we'll do, let's do a sidechain compression on it so that it ducks underneath the kick. I'm hoping this works. Increase the attack, increase the release. I know right now we're on RMS. I'm testing it out. All right, cool. And we're listening to that ratio. Out there. All right, and we'll bring in the duck. We're going to turn all of these off, And we're going to start with this effect, I guess. Okay, and whatever this is. Okay. That is really fucking brutal, but let's make sure that that's bass mono. I feel like I did this entire fucking thing without headphones, just coming out of my laptop speakers, because this is horrendous. Try that out. Thanks for the follow. Ah, stop kicking me. Ah. and so on. Oh, greeting from Uruguay. Awesome. Hey, bro. Welcome from Uruguay. That's awesome. Bro, if I send you some vocals, could you make me a beat over the top that's full of aggressive Detroit or trap? No. But if you do send me the vocals, I can fuck with it for funsies. I don't know what Detroit... I don't know what that means. I don't know. I'm a dubstep guy, so... But I would love to just fuck with it just for funsies, though. Genuinely, I would enjoy that. There was a time where I took... Let me show you. I took a rapper's song, and I wonder if I've got... Cherish MP4. Go on then.
Hey, look.
Yeah, so there was a rapper I saw on Instagram, and I took his reel, and I just extracted the audio, and I made my own
Alrighty, I'm gonna go off the top.
beat,
They call me Cherish.
just for fun.
Look. I said people, they call me Cherish. Yeah, I'm just like the... Yeah, I smoking that cool stuff, and I'm feeling like I'm like damn flame.
And so forth. Yeah, so if you want, you can send me your shit, and I'm just gonna fuck with it for fun. If I do release it, obviously I'll hit you up and let you know, like, hey, how do you want me to release it and all that sort of stuff? Do you want me to release it and all that fun stuff? Yeah, anyway, let's move forward. I think that's a good level. That sub's way too powerful. It's spicy.
Take the high road and I'll take the low road and I'll be in Scotland.
Okay, I think that might be fine. Let's try it out.
Marty is a poor and our friendship was a chore on the wet and sticky banks of Loch Lomond. And you'll take the high road and I'll take the low road and I'll be in Scotland about a year. But Marty is a damn sexy seal of a man on the bonny, bonny banks of Loch Lomond. You'll take the high road and I'll take the low road and I'll be in Scotland about a year. But Marty is a damn sexy seal of a man on the bonny, bonny.
So this is a really terrible thing to do. It's called a quick master that I like to do. And what this is an OTT just to fucking squeeze the shit out of the mix, balance it out, and I can choose how much I want that OTT on. So this is all the way. And this is off. So we just find a nice midpoint. I think that's where it was before, but it just happened to be a good midpoint, I'd say. And then limiter just to limit stuff. We don't really need that there, because it should be already limited anyway by the OTT, and it's not peaking out anywhere anyway. We can have it just in case, but it should be fine. Oh wait, we've got it on the whole thing. Hang on, we need to put it on the master. We're gonna turn that off and try it again. Much better. Still super close to 23%. Alright, limiter, again, probably not needed, but we'll just have it on just in case. It's a safety blanket, right? We're gonna really heavily duck the low end without ducking, with ducking. And then we're going to K-clip 0 this shit. So we're going to push it as far as we can. We've got an absolute 100% softness, and we're just going to push this as hard as we can go before we get clipping. It's going to get loud. So we can hear there's a lot of clipping, so we're just going to dial it down until it's at a reasonable level for clipping.
You'll take the high road and I'll take the low road and I'll be in Scotland about a year. You'll take the high road and I'll take the low road and I'll be in Scotland about a year. You'll take the high road and I'll take.
Okay, cool. And now we're going to bring back that low end that we previously took away. Oh. My god, that whole time that K-clip was on. That's not good. We'll listen to this again and make sure we've got it as where we want it to be.
You'll take the high road and I'll take the low road and I'll be in Scotland about a year. You'll take the high road and I'll take the low road and I'll be in Scotland about a year. You'll take the high road and I'll take the low road and I'll be in Scotland about a year. You'll take the high road and I'll take the low road and I'll be in Scotland about a year.
Absolute limit right there. And now, yeah, like, oh wait, without the line.
You'll take the high road and I'll take the low road and I'll be in Scotland about a year. You'll take the high road and I'll take the low road and I'll be in Scotland about a year. You'll take the high road and I'll take the low road and I'll be in Scotland about a year. You'll take the high road and I'll take the low road and I'll be in Scotland about a year.
Alright, I'm happy with that. And then we boost the low end again, and then here we've got a harder clipper. Let's try softness at 0% and see what we can do.
You'll take the high road and I'll take the low road and I'll be in Scotland aboard ye. You'll take the high road and I'll take the low road and I'll be in Scotland aboard ye.
There we go. There we go. That's how you fuck shit up. Let's have a look at what the EQ looks like at the end here.
You'll take the high road and I'll take the low road.
Am I proud of myself? No. But is it a quick mastering job? Yes. And a quick mixing job as well. I'm not planning on releasing this, but I'm just trying to get it done, man.
Marty, but I hang it up because Marty is a cuck, and I throw my phone straight into his arsehole. And you'll take the high road and I'll take the low road and I'll be in Scotland aboard ye. And Marty is a jerk, he's the worst part of our work, and his parents are still soon divorcing. The wind in the trees, why it shakes me at the knees as that gust goes straight into my arsehole. But I brought that on myself, left me chance upon the shelf, like when Marty made me wear nipple tassels. And you'll take the high road and I'll take the high road. Before you know it, we're all on the high road, and Marty's on the high road, and we're also on the high road, and his parents are divorced on the high road. But Marty's broken family, they take the higher road as the moon burns straight into my arsehole.
Lovely. All right. Fuck it. I'm calling this done. I'm calling that done. I'm calling that never let me see that ever again. Whoops. But we're making progress, baby. That's a lot of songs unreleased. So I've got the Circus that I need to be releasing soon. Yeah, there's a decent amount of songs that I really should be releasing. We're getting through this relatively quick as well. Let's see if we can work on this a little more. Let's work on this for 10 minutes. Call this a 2-hour stream, and then I'm going to go eat. That's what we got so far.
你好，我的爱，我的爱，我的爱。你好，我的爱，你是我的爱。你好，我的爱，我的爱，我的爱。你好，我的爱，你是我的爱。你好，我的爱，我的爱，我的爱。你好，我的爱，你是我的爱。你好，我的爱，我的爱，我的爱。你好，我的爱，你是我的爱。你好，我的爱，我的爱，我的爱，我的。你好，我的爱，你是我的爱。你好，我的爱，我的爱，我的爱。你好，我的爱，你是我的爱。你好，我的爱。
Well, let's go. Oh, right, that's the boom, boom, boom. All right, that's fine. And we want a That's what we want right in the beginning. So it doesn't really matter what note it is. That's the length we want. Get rid of all of that. Let's get a B. Don't need any of that, to be honest. We can literally just make it a motherfucking 808, right? Need to work out what key this is. This is C minor. Okay, so as long as I get a... And then, well, I was going to say as long as we get one that's in the key of C minor, but that doesn't matter too much. What really matters is that it just sounds good with the mix, and then I can just pitch it anyway. So we're going to go to kicks, we're going to go to 808s, and I'm going to start at the bottom and work my way up. Fuck me, that's a lot of picks. Back up to the top again, my bad. Ni hao, what do I do? We try that one. Already in the right key as well, which is nice. We try that one as well. What I am looking for is something with a pitch going down, right? Which is something that we can make ourselves, but it's worth checking out these 808s just in case there's something nice there. And it's not that. These are not. These shouldn't be here. Can I scroll down? There we go. Scroll, scroll, scroll. Goes in there. There we go. What up, Moon? Or should I say, Ni hao, what do I? Testing out these different kicks and seeing which one works better. So let's have that there and duplicate, and have this one there and duplicate. It might be too loud, but let's test it out.
Ni hao, what do I? What do I? What do I? Ni hao, what do I? What do I? Ni hao, what do I?
Yeah, no, both of them suck. All right, that's that's fine. Let's open up this. We're just going to call this sub pitch, whatever we want, because none of it matters. And we're going to drag this, and it's going to be that length. Yep. And we're going to open this up. We're going to close that EQ. We're going to make this onto sub, and we're going to put this onto the CRS, which is essentially pitch, and we're going to go like that, so it's going from up to down, and we're going to go like that, so it literally goes up to down. We're going to have a listen to it and solo it on its own. Oh, I want some cheap viewers. How much we are talking? 5 rupees? Potentially. Find out. Go to the website and pay and see what it's see how much it is. So we're going to put it on envelope so it stays down once it goes down. Increase this to half. Increase release. There it is. Very nice. And then we duplicate and adjust the volume because that's obviously too loud. Very nice. And let's try something with a little bit of an envelope to it, an attack to it. Nope. You You do it. I'm busy working. Gotcha. Yeah, I'm busy working too. This is what I'm working on.
你好，我的爱，你好，我的爱，我的爱，我的爱，你好，我的爱，你是我的爱。你好，我的爱，我的爱，我的爱，你好，我的爱，你是我的爱。你好，我的爱，我的爱，我的爱。
Cool. I'm happy with that. It's very basic, but that's okay.
我的爱，你是我的爱。你好，我的爱，我的爱，我的爱。
Oh, and this will go there, and the wetness will drop off once we get there. There we go.
我的爱，我的爱，你好，我的爱，你是我的爱。你好，我的爱，我的爱，我的爱，你好，我的爱，你是我的爱。你好，我的爱，
Let's cut that and see what happens.
是我的爱。你好，我的爱，我的
Okay, that's fine, but let's cut just the intro part.
是我的爱。你好，我的爱，我
There
的
we
爱，
go.
我的爱，你好，我的爱，你是我的爱。爱，你是我的爱，
Let's cut that.
是我的爱。
Huh. Cute. This is such a cute song, man.
你好，我的爱，我的爱，我的爱，你好，我的爱，你是我的爱。你好，我的爱，我的爱，我的爱，你好，我的爱，你是我的爱。你好，我的爱，我的爱，我的爱，你好，我的爱，你是我的爱。你好，我的爱，我的爱，我的爱，你好，我的爱，你是我的爱。你好，我的爱，我的爱，我的爱，你好，我的爱，你是我的爱。你好，我的爱，我的爱，我的爱，你好，我的爱，你是我的爱。是我的爱，是我的爱。
And let's pitch this down, see what happens. Put this onto Complex Pro, do -12, and have a listen.
爱，是我的爱，爱爱爱爱爱爱爱爱爱爱，是我的爱。你好。
And then let's do the same thing with all of this. Complex Pro, -12.
你好，我的爱，我的爱，我的爱，你好，我的爱，你是我的爱。你好，我的爱，我的爱，我的爱。
Very nice. To be honest with you, I really quite like that.
你好，我的爱，我的爱，我的爱，你好，我的爱，你是我的爱。你好，我的爱，我的爱，我的爱，你好，我的爱，你是我的爱。
Got to find a nice midpoint.
你好，我的爱，我的爱，我的爱，你好，我的爱，你是我的爱。你好，我的爱，我的爱，我的爱，你好，我的爱，你是我的爱。
I would like to control the width of this shit. So we're going to chuck that on, and it's not super wide, but it should be wider.
你好，我的爱，我的爱，我的爱。
So we're going to do the width there. And it's going to go down and up like that. That should be 100% good. Okay, that's too much. And bring this down to, I don't know, 51% and see what happens. Whatever, that's fine.
你好，我的爱，我的爱，你好，我的爱，你好。
Ooh, let's tilt it up, bring this down.
你好，我的爱，你好，我的爱，你好，我的爱，我的爱，我的。
That's nice. And copy this and paste it there, paste it there, paste it there, paste it.
是我的爱，是我的爱。
And we're going to stretch that out there.
我的爱，哎，你是我的爱，哎，你是我的爱，哎，你是我的爱。
There it is.
你好，我的
Duplicate. Alright, let's cut that and see what happens if we put that there. Let's remove that. That's cool. Once again, we'll remove these. And we could probably keep going with this sort of structure, to be honest. Kind of silly, but we could. Let's come on, Jay, see what happens. All right, that works. And let's put that onto Complex Pro. Let's do 12. See what that's really high pitch. Really high pitch. Let's see what happens if I drag that back. We can't, but that's okay because we can take this instead. So I'm going to Command E and take that there. Join those together. And so that's already minus 12, so let's see if we can do minus 12 again. I mean, I know I can. Alright, let's try that out. And we'll just duplicate and see what happens.
你好，我的爱，我的爱，我的爱。你好，我的爱，你是我的爱。你好，我的爱，我的爱，我的爱。你好，我的爱，你是我的爱。你好，我的爱，我的爱，我的爱。你好，我的爱，你是我的爱。
Now let's, oh wait, we can do it here. Ni hao, what the I, what the I, what the I, ni hao, what the I, ni hao, what the I. Ni hao, what the I, what the I, what the I.
你好，我的爱，我的爱，我的爱，你好，
我的爱，你是我的爱。你好，我的爱，我的爱，我的爱。你好，我的爱，你是我的爱。你好，我的爱，我的爱，我。你好，我的爱，我的爱，我的爱。你好，我的爱，你是我的爱。你好，我的爱，我的爱，我的爱。你好，我的爱，我的爱，我的爱。
你好，我的爱，你是我的爱。你好，我的爱，我的
It is a bit creepy.
爱。你好，我的爱，你是我的爱。你好，我的爱，我的爱，我的爱。你好，我的爱，你是我的爱。你好，我的爱，我的爱，我的爱。你好，我的爱，你是我的爱。你好，我的爱，我的爱，我的爱。你好，我的爱，你是我的爱。你好，我的爱，我的爱，我的爱。你好，我的爱，你是我的爱。你好，我的爱，我的爱，我的爱。你好，我的爱，你是我的爱。你好，我的爱，我的爱，我的爱。你好，我的爱，你是我的爱。你好，我的爱，我的爱，我的爱。你好，我的爱，你是我的爱。你好，我的爱，我的爱，我的爱。
Okay, let's do something. And this is just for freezers. I'm gonna do that. We'll do a little bit of this. This is gonna be called freezers. We're gonna go about that. We're gonna go over here. We're gonna have a listen, and we're gonna just play it. Sorry about this. I'm gonna turn down the volume for you. I can't imagine you're gonna want to be listening to that full volume. It is admittedly quite brutal. Wow, that's still going, huh? And kind of crazy that there's a sound that... Oh, right, it's the sound of this. Okay, so we're going to cut this all the way to there. Little fade out. Little fade in. Cut it all the way to here. Little fade in. Little fade in. Okay, so now we can take that and close it and turn you off, and take that and close it and turn you off, and then go -5 here. And we've got everything that we will ever want and ever need in this little section right here. Which we don't want because... Actually, we do want. Go on then. And then if we wanted to, which I'm not saying I do, right? I'm not crazy. But if I wanted to, we could cut that and bring it there. You'd be crazy to do this, and you could cut that. You could actually cut it though and bring it there. But we wouldn't do this. We wouldn't do this. That'd be insane. And then we could cut it there and bring that there. But again, like I say, we wouldn't do this. That's an insane thing to do. Why is this cut there? Alright, sure. Duplicate. We might as well duplicate again. Drag that there. Drag that there. And delete all of these if we wanted to. And then if we wanted to, we could have a listen to this. Where are they? Body. That's that. Hang on. What the fuck? Okay. Oh. Okay, hang on. Okay, so that's that. Good. Okay. Okay, what's this? Okay. That just means that we've duplicated too many. Okay, that's fine. So this is the highest, in theory. Then it's this. Then is it this? And then this? Yeah. All right, cool. So we could, maybe, if we wanted to, not that we should, it's a bad idea to do this, it's a really weird thing to do, we could cut that and go like that and just remove that all the way to there, maybe, and cut that and remove that all the way to there, then, and then cut this and allow that there, and then have it there, and then work our way back up again. Maybe if we wanted to cut that out and then bring that to there. Fuck it, who's going to stop me? And take that out? No, bring that to there. And then we remove all of that, remove all of that, and remove that. So we're taking away all of these. And this is something that we can do to just test this out. Maybe it's a cool idea. Maybe it's a trash idea. It's okay. It's not worth the effort. This part is nice. If it comes back down here, would be nice. So right there, we have a little bit of that, and take that out, and bring this back down to here, and then cut that out, and move that, and cut that. That's nice. And we could even have that there if we wanted to. And we could even have that there if we wanted to. Not saying we do, but if we wanted to, we could. It's pretty. Let's test something out here. Let's do a little fade in, fade out magic. Cool. It's not bad. It's not bad, but that's something that we would kind of need to repeat throughout the whole thing if we wanted to do that. Not that we should, but if we wanted to, we'd have to repeat that whole thing. There's no variation. Let's do it over here then. There, bump. And allow that one, and that's going to be gone, so we're going to bring that back down to here, and that's going to be there, that's going to be there, like that, and that's going to be gone. We're never going to see that again. Well, we are going to see it again, but we're just not going to see it there. I'm just going to go like this. And then this, we'll have this much lower, bam, bang, 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 allow that one, and then maybe we allow that one, and that comes back down to here. That we could have a nice little fade out, fade in situation going on. So let's go ahead and do that. And let's start that one there and let that start there again. So that's going to be here. Yeah, and we can't do the fade in, fade out situation if we do that, can we? But we can bring this in and go there. And we might as well do this again there like that, and bring this back down and take that and chop that there. We'll do a fade in, fade out situation. Let's have a listen first. That works. That certainly works. And then we remove that and bring that to there. There we go. And so we've got this. And that just repeats. Duplicate, duplicate, duplicate. We'll cut that, cut that, cut that, cut that, cut that, so that we've got the knee hows. Fade in, fade out, sorry, I mean fade out, fade out. We don't need to fade in because there's already fade in because it's in a vocal within the dot, which means as soon as that kick hits, there's already a cut. That last is too long. And just do one wob. And we'll have all of that gone because we've already got 4 bars there, so we're going to start it from here. We're going to have it from here where the hi-hats are, which works. And just drag that to there because that's where it actually is. We could just end it there. Who's going to stop us? Alright, let's have a listen. Make sure it's okay.
你好，我的爱，我的爱，我的爱。你好，我的爱，你是我的爱。
I'm gonna blast it for you guys. No, I'll leave it at that volume. No, I am gonna blast it. No, I'll leave it at that volume. I'll leave it at that volume.
你好，我的爱，我的爱，我的爱。你好，我的爱，你是我的爱。你好，我的爱，我的爱，我的爱。你好，我的爱，你是我的爱。你好，我的爱，我的爱，我的爱。你好，我的爱，你是我的爱。你好，我的爱，我的爱，我的爱。你好，我的爱，你是我的爱。你好，我的爱，我的爱，我的爱。你好，我的爱，你是我的爱。你好，我。
Find a nice point for this phaser flanger. Blast it. Hey, what up, Ton? I'm gonna go soon. I'm just gonna listen to this one song one time, and then I'll probably leave. That being said, I did say I was gonna leave 23 minutes ago, so we'll see. There we go. Nice slight change.
你好，我的爱，我的爱，我的爱。你好，我的爱，你是我的爱。你好，我的爱，我的爱，我的爱。你好，我的爱，你是我的爱。你好，我的爱，我的爱，我的爱。你好，我的爱，你是我的爱。你好，我的爱，我的爱，我的爱。你好，我的爱，你是我的爱。你好。 你好，你好，你好，你好，我的爱，我的爱，我的爱。你好，我的爱，你是我的爱。你好，我的爱，我的爱，我的爱。你好，我的爱，你是我的爱。 你好，我的爱，我的爱，我的爱。你好，我的爱，你是我的爱。你好，我的爱，我的爱，我的爱。你好，我的爱，你是我的爱。
Vocal fun on the drop part, or are you just mixing it? I'm not mixing it. Could do. Could do, could do, could do. Something that I like to do that, you know, is really, really, really simple is, hang on, you can't see it because it's there. Okay, I'll put it here. Is, so I'll solo just the vocals. I will frequency shift, bring the dry wet down to wherever, I'll adjust that later, and adjust the course to like -40, -80, something really slight, -200, that's fine. And then it sounds like this.
你好，我的爱，我的爱，我的爱。你好，我的爱，你是我的爱。
I really like that.
你好，我的爱。
Ideally, I'd put it before these effects.
你好，我的爱，我的爱，我的爱。
And you can fuck with the chorus.
你是我的爱。你好，我的爱，我的爱，我的爱。
Can automate that chorus and make something really nice. Yeah, nice and grainy. Yeah, exactly. It's really, really, really simple. But it is something that I really quite like. It is a really good idea to do something to the vocals there, to be honest.
我的爱，我的爱，我的爱。
We could just do that.
我的爱，你是我的爱。你好，我的爱，我的爱，我的爱。你好，我的爱，你是我的爱。
And if I am going to do it, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. We'll just automate that like that. And it's gonna go from 47 to 53 on the beat. Much, 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 much slower. Much slower. Cool, and then we just toggle that on and off, so that's going to be toggled on when that happens, and then toggled off when that doesn't happen. And we might as well get some sort of delay here. Right? Ni hao, ni hao, ni hao, ni hao. Right? Right. Okay, so I'm going to use Crumble because I love Crumble. And we'll put it in here. Nope, we'll put it after here. Yes, after here. And I'm going to solo it, and then we'll have a listen to it. Control, I want it on the beat. Okay, no, we want it faster than that. If I do 6, I think that's too slow actually, fourths. Very good. Slow down that less feedback. Awesome. Increase the reverse. Fuck with it slightly. Brother, I don't have corpus. I don't have corpus. Is that stock? I don't have corpus. I don't have. If that's a stock plugin, I don't have Ableton Live or whatever. I've got Live Standard. Yeah. I don't have corpus, but Crumble is fucking awesome, and it's free. So, but this is with the audio. This is with the pitch shifting as well. Yeah, this isn't just Crumble on its own doing this. Yeah, and then True is just Bit Crusher essentially. Too much? No, oh no, it's not, unfortunately. Let's try to fuck with the pitch. We'll need to do that in context. Let's do modulation. Lower frequency. Cool, and then we're going to automate that because I'm not going to just have that on all the time. That will drive anybody insane. Vocal Fun is a good one if you have that. I don't have that. I don't have that. Is that a free plugin? I only have 3 plugins. I've got Serum and Master Plan. I think they're the only 2 plugins I've paid for. I think. They're the only 2 plugins. And then the majority of everything else is free. I mean, even if you look here, I mean, I've got a compressor, stock, EQ8, stock, Exoverb, which is free, which is nice. Vocal Doubler, which is free, which is nice. Silk Vocal, which is powerful as fuck, and I think that's free. If it's not, I've bought it. M Auto Pitch, which is free, which is nice. Crumble, which is free, which is nice. LFO stock, Shifter stock, Glue Compressor stock. It's a default device, I believe, under Beat Repeat. Oh, gotcha. Okay, no, I've got Beat Repeat, and it's called Vocal Fun. All right, cool. All right, I'll give that a go. It works. It works as well, to be honest. It does. That's not bad. And we've got yeah, because it's okay.
你好，我的爱，我的爱，我的爱，你好，我的爱，你是我的爱，你是我的爱，你好，我的爱，我的爱，你好，我的爱，你是我的爱，你好，我的爱，我的爱，我的爱。
Let's fuck shit up here. I really quite like that. Did not know this was a thing.
你好，我的爱，我的爱，我的爱，你好，我的爱。
I'm just fucking around. I've no clue what any of this does.
你好，我的爱，我的爱，我的爱，你好，你好，我的爱，我的爱，我的爱，你好，你好，我的爱，我的爱，我的爱，你好，我的爱，你好，我的爱，我的爱，我，你好，我的爱，我的爱，爱，你好，我的爱，是我的爱。你好，我的爱，我的爱，我的爱，你好，我的爱是我的爱。你好，我的爱，我的爱，我的爱，你好，我的爱是我的爱。你好，我的爱，我的爱，我的爱，你好。
Oh. Messing around. You're good, man. This is the best part. It is. It literally is. That's the whole point of production, isn't it? Just fucking around. And I quite like this. I quite like this. But what if we, obviously, what if we, of course. And I don't want that to go all the way up because it didn't sound good to me when it was too high up. And now we fuck with the chants as well, see what that does. Okay, chants is almost wetness. What the fuck does gate do? Water eye in it. Now we're having fun. I wish we could do up pitch as well, if that was an option. And we map in the pitch. And we map in the pitch decay. Just lower that. Cool. Cool. Okay, what if I put on a drum bus onto this? Right, just for this little group here. Just to increase the transients of them. I'm gonna just toggle this on and off and then fuck with the out volume. Alright, cool. Yeah, you know what? I like it. I like it. I appreciate that input heavily. And let's fuck with the pitch on that last little section. It would be nice if I could just do a nice little... I can! And bring that down. Lovely.
你好，我的爱，我的爱，我的爱，你好，我的爱，你是我的爱。你好，我的爱，我的爱，我的爱，你好，我的爱，你是我的爱。
Okay, awesome. I think we're done. I think we're done. All right, let's have a quick one through listen, and then I'm going to go because I want to eat breakfast and spend some time with my wife. My wife.
你好，我的爱，我的爱，我的爱，你好，我的爱，你是我的爱。你好，我的爱，我的爱，我的爱，你好，我的爱，你是我的爱。你好，我的爱，我的爱，我的爱，你好，我的爱，你是我的爱。你好，我的爱，我的爱，我的爱，你好，我的爱，你是我的爱。你好，我的爱，我的爱，我的爱，你好，我的爱，你是我的爱。你好，我的爱，我的爱，我的爱，你好，我的爱，你是我的爱。你好，你好，你好，你好，你好，我的爱，我的爱，我的爱，你好，我的爱，你是我的爱。你好，我的爱，我的爱，我的爱，你好，我的爱，你是我的爱。你好，我的爱，我的爱，我的爱，你好，我的爱，你是我的爱。你好，我的爱，我的爱，我的爱，你好，我的爱，你是我的爱。
We could probably do a little more to this second drop. It's kind of asking for it. It's kind of asking for a second drop. It survives without one. Obviously, it's very short. It's 1 hour, 1 minute, 20 seconds. But it is kind of asking for a second drop, and we will need something spicy, considering that this first drop is already a little spicy. Really, really like how fucking screechy and scratchy that shit is. Oh man. My wife will absolutely hate this song. Alright, I'm gonna go. Good amount of streaming in the morning though. Really, really good. 2 hours and 45 minutes. Come on now. That is brilliant. Alright, Tom, thanks for coming down. Moon, thanks for coming down. Everybody else that came down, thank you very much for coming down. I will hopefully be streaming again later on today anyway. Doing some DJing.